Artificial intelligence and machine learning is gaining a lot of popularity today. In this video, we'll see an application of AI where we'll see how we can create an AI grammar corrector using Python. We'll use OpenAI in this tutorial and we'll see how AI can be used to fix the text which contains some grammatical errors. Let's move on to our computer screen and let's get started. So let's get started by creating a PyCharm project, and I'm going to use Python for sure. So let's go to our computer screen now and let's create a PyCharm project. I'm going to tell you the plan initially, what the plan is, and then we are going to execute that plan. Okay, so the plan is to get the OpenAI key and use the OpenAI's API to get a grammar corrector project working. So as you can see, I'm creating a new project in PyCharm. Let me call this project as grammar fixer, something like that. You can use a new virtual environment, but make sure that this will create a new virtual environment. So do not get confused with the global interpreter and new environment using virtual environment. Virtual environment will create an isolated environment where your packages will reside. And if you're using the global interpreter, anything that you have installed using pip can be used, but since we want our project to be isolated, we will make sure that we use virtual environment. So let's use the virtual environment, and PyCharm has very good support for creating virtual environment. Let's click on create because it takes time while I'm speaking. You can also use some extensions like Code Whisperer and GitHub Copilot. You can do all those things, but that's not the point of this video. So let's not talk much about it. When you create a new PyCharm project, it gives you this default interface, and I am really liking the new look of PyCharm for some reason, but let's simply press backspace and start coding our grammar fixer. So here's the point of this project. We have some text and we want to make sure that anything that we are typing is professional. So let me tell you what professional means. So let us say you are writing an email. So you will always want that your email looks professional. Your email is looking good. Okay. So we want to make sure that our email looks good, and we are going to give the raw text to OpenAI, and OpenAI is going to do all the heavy lifting for us. So let's log into our OpenAI account because we are going to use OpenAI. So there are a lot of different models in OpenAI, and whatever I'm doing here in this project can be improved through latest cutting edge technology of OpenAI. I'm going to use the latest OpenAI models as of the date of recording this video. Let me show you where the API keys are. So whenever you create a new OpenAI account, you will get an API key, and you can use that API key to get access to OpenAI's APIs. So you can click on create new secret key and name it, let us say YouTube test, and please do not use my API keys because there is a limit to how many requests you can you can send to OpenAI server for free, and then you are going to be charged for sending the request. And the pricing is pretty nominal. I really like the pricing of OpenAI. Let me call it YouTube grammar or grammar YT in short, and create secret key. This will create a new secret key. Please do not use the secret key. It's not going to work because I will delete this secret key right after recording this video. So do not be surprised if the secret key doesn't work. So I'll copy this secret key and I'll click done. There is a very good practice when it comes to secret key, and it's called keeping your secret keys separate. So for that, I'm going to create a file called config.py, and I will say OpenAI _key, and this is a constant and this is my key. So I'll say this is a constant that I'm going to use, and what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to import this from config import star. So I'm going to say from config import star, and I'll get access to this OpenAI key, and I'm going to use this OpenAI key in this project. Okay, so let's simply come back to Playground, click on Playground, and this is the OpenAI Playground. And you will also wonder how simple creating such a complex project is using OpenAI's API. We are simply creating a wrapper around OpenAI, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of using such kind of systems. When somebody has already trained a model, done everything for you, all you need to do is know and understand what and when to use. Okay, let me say, hey please. You don't even have to write hey. You should write to the point prompts. Please improve grammar in this text. Okay, I'll say please improve grammar in this text, and I'll say I go to the shop for buy groceries. Submit. So this OpenAI Playground will work very nicely for you, and it will just work like ChatGPT. We all know ChatGPT, how it works. But now we don't want to use the OpenAI Playground, but rather we want to make sure that we are able to hit OpenAI's API using Python. So let me show you how to do the same thing using Python. So all you need to do is simply click on view code, copy this code, and once you copy this code, you can come back to your main.py. Let's paste this, and we need to install this OpenAI package. So I'm going to visit terminal and say pip install OpenAI, which will install OpenAI. And then I want to make sure that my OpenAI key, which is not in my environment, in this case they have assumed that this OpenAI API key is saved as environment variable, but I have imported it from config, so I should have access to this. And also I don't need import OS because I am not using getenv function. Okay, all right, let's see what the prompt is going to be. So I'm going to write a very simple program. I'll say text is equal to, and I'll say input, enter the text you want to fix grammar in. Okay, \n, and after that we will use this text as a prompt. I'm going to create an f string, and I'll say improve grammar in this text \n, and this is going to be the text, text. And in order to get the response, all I need to do is just print the response, and it will tell me what are the keys in the response dictionary. Okay, so I'll say print response, improve grammar in this text, and give me only the text in the output, because at times it says, hey, here is your text and this is grammatically correct, there were some issues in your text. I don't want all that. I just want the fixed text. That's it. Let's try to run it. Fingers crossed. And it is hitting the OpenAI server. Enter the text you want to fix grammar in. I go to the shop and I buy mango. Okay, so it gave me this output. I went to the shop and bought a mango. Wow, man, wow, this is amazing. And I want to make sure that only the text that has been fixed is visible. So how do we do that? All we need to do is get the text from choices. So we will get multiple choices. We'll make sure that we get the fixed text, print the grammatically corrected sentence is, and then I'll print response choices. Firstly, I'll make it as an f string. I'll say response choices, and I will have to use single quote because I've already used double quotes. Response choices 0. 0 means choices is a list, so I want to take the first element of the list, and then I want to get the text of choices 0. So choices 0, oops, a single quote, text. The grammatically corrected sentence is this. And let's also add some more features. How do we do that? We simply change some of the prompts. I'll say, what do you want to do with this text? Enter the text, and then action is equal to input, what do you want to do with this text? \n, type 1 for grammar, \n, type 2 for making email professional. Let me make this, turn the word wrap on, and I just turned the word wrap on. Type 2 for making email professional, type 3 for translating to, type 3 for translating to. You can add as many languages as you want to a language. That's it. Let's keep 3 prompts. Okay, it will ask you what do you want to do. Now we'll change the prompt based off the action. Okay, and prompt is equal to prompt, and I'll use Python match case statement. I'll say action match action, and case 1, if somebody typed 1, what is your prompt going to be? Your prompt is going to be improve grammar in this text and give me only the text in the output. This is going to be your prompt. Okay, so I'll say prompt is equal to this. And for case 2, we are going to change the prompt. So Control D to replicate in PyCharm. And you can add as many cases as you want. This is just an example, okay? Case 2 is going to be making email professional, improve grammar and make this email professional. Give me only the email in the output. Only the final email in the output. Okay? Improve grammar in this text. Okay, case 2 is going to be this, and Control D to replicate. And let me close this. Case 3 is going to be translating to a language. Translate this sentence, improve grammar and translate this to language. And what is going to be the language? Lang is equal to input. Which language do you want to translate this text to? You'll have to type the language \n, and yes, after that it will give you the final text, final result in the output. Okay, I think this should work. And after that, response is equal to this, print response, grammatically corrected sentences. I don't want to print the response, but I will make sure to print the response just for debugging purposes. Okay, and I'm going to create a new file and type my email there, and then I'm going to paste it. Hey, please grant me 10-day leave. I am sick. Will not be able to come to the school. Hey teacher. I know you don't do like that, but again, let's say, dear teacher, dear ma'am, please grant me 5-day leave or whatever. Give it 10-day leave. Okay, 10-day leave, and let's rerun this program, main.py. Control V to paste the text. I want to make email professional, so I'll press 2. Okay, dear miss, I'm writing to request a 10-day leave of absence due to illness. I will not be able to come to school during, wow, amazing, during this time. Thank you for your consideration. Okay, and awesome, this is amazing. Now I'm going to do one more thing, and this will make your life easy. Let's now test the translation part. I want to translate this to Hindi. Let us say I am going to school. I want to translate it to a language. So 3, which language do you want to translate this text to? Hindi. And let's see what happens. मैं स्कूल जाने जा रहा हूँ. As a Hindi speaker, I can confirm that this is correct and this is amazing. Let me try to give it a complicated sentence and we'll see how it performs. So enter the text. I want to go to the school and then buy some candies. And I'm going to translate it to Hindi. And it says मैं स्कूल जाना और फिर कुछ मिठाइयाँ खरीदना चाहता हूँ. This is actually perfect Hindi. And you can try it with your language. Like if you speak a different language, try it out and it'll be fun and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed with how AI is performing and it is accurate 99% of the time. I'm telling you from my experience, amazing, man. Let's now try to save these outputs. Let us say we want to save the output to a text file. How do we do that? We can create a folder called my outputs or output, and I can say with open, and we'll simply generate a file name. And how do we generate the file name? We will generate the file name from the prompt. We'll say prompt and we'll take say 12 characters from the prompt. This is going to be the file name .txt with open this w as f.write, and I want to write this to the file. So let's write this to the file. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And this is something I want to write the file with, and I think we are good, and we'll get a prompt 0 to 12.txt file created inside output folder, but I'll have to write output / as well. So this file will be created and I can see my see my output in the output file. Okay, let's get rid of this print response, and let us say I want to write an email. I'll write it here. I'll say hey \n, can you please check if the server is working or not? I'm making it now. I want to make sure that it fixes all the grammar because it is urgent. Do it by tomorrow, please. Okay, I will ask OpenAI to make this professional. So I'll say to make it professional. And inside the output folder, we have a file. We have a file called improve grammar, and you can see that this will actually, and if not fix it, thanks. I don't know what's wrong. And if not fix it, thanks, dear name. Let me see what is wrong. Why is it writing this to the file? Fix it, thanks. Let me see what is wrong. So this is an F string. This is the name of the file, and improve gram.txt, and this is the response that it was supposed to write, but it actually wrote and if not fix it, thanks. The grammatically corrected sentences and if not fix it, thanks. Okay, so this is the output coming from OpenAI. I don't know why, but this is the output coming from OpenAI. Let me check it. Let me check by printing print response, right click, run. Hey, please fix the server. Type 2 for making the email professional. So I started but can't finish. Grammatically corrected sentences. I started but can't finish, dear name. Why is it giving me the prompt in the output? Let me see. Text, I started but can't finish. Dear name, I have attempted to fix the server. Okay, so this is a subject, I guess. It is giving me the email subject. I started but can't finish. Okay, so we'll have to make sure that the max tokens variable is sufficient. I want to change this max tokens variable to 2560, and we can also play around with these parameters, models and all. You can go to OpenAI and These are the models that you can use. Show more models. There are a lot of other models that can be used, and you can Google for which model to use for maximum accuracy in your results. So this is something that you can play around with. These are some of the parameters that OpenAI recommend. You can use these and try these out. But let's try our bot once again. Let's try to generate an email. I'll say, please grant me 3 days leave due to I am going to Manali. So I have intentionally written this email very badly, and I want OpenAI to fix it for me. Make this email professional. So OpenAI is going to make this email professional for me. I am writing to request 3 days of leave as, okay, so the grammatically corrected sentence is, I am writing to request 3 days of leave as I am planning to visit Manali. I am aware of my current response. Wow. Wow. So there is a problem. And I want to fix that problem. The problem is that whenever we are writing something, the prompt always starts with improve grammar, but we want to make sure that improved grammar is not the name of the file always, because whatever we type, the prompt always starts with improve grammar. And this file name, prompt 0 to 12, is going to be the same. So how do we change it? We are going to name our file based off the text. So let's try it once again. Going to Manali, cannot come to tuition, please give leave for 5 or maybe 9 days. 2. Let's see if it makes it professional. And I don't want to see the console. I will directly see the output folder. It is taking quite some time to generate, and it just generated. Subject is request for leave, and this is the email. I respectfully request leave from my tutoring duties. I respectfully request leave from my tutoring duties on the following days, 5 or 9 days starting immediately. I regret that due to unexpected circumstances, I will be unable to fulfill my tutoring obligations. So these are some of the placeholders that it is asking for. So let's do one thing. Let's change our prompt and tell the AI that my name is this, and this is what I am writing this mail for. So let's say I want to go to Manali and I cannot teach students in the tuition. My name is Harry and I work at, say, Yummy Institution of computer sciences. Okay, so let's type 2 and let's wait for it to generate the txt file for us. So it just generated, dear Yummy Institute of Computer Sciences, my name is Harry and I'm writing to formally request to take some time off from my role at your institution. Let's do soft wrap. I wish to travel to Manali and I'm therefore unable to fulfill my tutoring duties during this time. I understand that this makes an inconvenience to the institution and I am willing to look for an appropriate replacement. Wow, this is amazing and I really like it. And the way it is generating the text files makes these text files very, very useful. We can do one more thing. We can ask one more thing. Enter the name of the text file. So we can say text file is equal to input. Enter the name of the text file you want to save. This too. Press enter for automatic generation. I'll tell you what it means. Now, if the text file is empty, we are going to generate a file name. So we are going to say if text file, if length of text file is equal to 0, change the text file to this. Text file is equal to this. This is going to be the text file. or else text file is going to be the same. Okay, and why am I even using f string when I can use the variable directly? Okay, text file .txt. Okay, let's run it. Enter the name of the text file you want to save this to. Press enter for automatic generation. Harry's leave. Enter the text. I am Harry, I want leave, and I am going to Orlando, so cannot work on the software I was working on. I am writing this email to Harry Software Foundation, and let's press 2, and Harry's leave. It has generated a text file. Harry's leave. Dear Harry Software Foundation, I am writing this to inform you that I am going to be taking a leave of absence as I'm traveling. Wow, it is writing professional emails, and I can always do these things if I don't like spaces or dots. This is something human can do, right? I don't want to be that lazy. We can do all those things. Okay, so this was a very fun project. I really loved the way these things are working. One more thing that I want to do is that after the prompt, I want to make sure that a new line occurs. So \n, and this should actually work fine. Okay, let's now run it. And I will say translation to Bengali. I'll say, hey, I know Bengali. Do you want to talk to me in Bengali? And I want to translate it to Bengali. So Bengali is a regional language in India, and this is what it generated. Okay, this is what it generated. Wow, this is amazing. And this is the prompt. Translation to Bengali is the prompt. And as you can see, it translated this thing to Bengali very nicely. This is amazing. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. I'm not sure. Did I made a mistake here? What do you want to do with this text? Enter the text. Enter the name of the text file. Okay, translation to Bengali. No, I didn't make any mistake. I thought that I did not write this, but I did. Anyways, I also want to make sure that a new line occurs after this. So let's come back to our main program and let's add \n and \n here as well. \n. Type 3 for translating to a language. \n here. Okay, let's try to run it again. And Spanish proverb. Okay, enter the text. I'll say, where there is will, there is a way. And it is going to translate this to, I know this is Spanish, but let me type Hindi so that I can verify that it is correct or not. I know I initially wrote Spanish and I'm generating in Hindi. But again, I want to make sure that it is Spanish proverb. जो जहाँ वहाँ कोई इच्छा हो आसानी से रास्ता मिलता है, जहाँ व्यक्तिगत सोच हो तहत रास्ता होता है. This is actually correct and this makes sense. This is rhyming. This is perfect. Okay, and you can generate it in any language of your choice. I'm really amazed and my mind is blown with the capabilities of AI these days. I hope that you also have a lot to say about this. I hope that you like this project. This is all about this project. Please use your own OpenAI key. And a lot of people ask me that what if my OpenAI key expires, or what if the OpenAI stops creating free keys with the accounts? You will have to buy in that case. So let me answer that question before it comes up. If OpenAI comes up with some free plans, which is currently $18 for 3 months, I guess. If you create a new account using a new phone number, but this can change any day, but you can always create a paid account and start working on your project if your projects are important. I hope that this project was something that you really enjoyed. I will now show you how to convert the existing program to a Flask app and then host it on Linode. So let's create a new file called Flask App, Flask AI App. So flaskai.py. I will go to Google and I will type Flask App Minimal, and this is a quick start guide of Flask 2.0. I want to make sure that I am on the latest version of Flask. Let's come back to our file and let's also do pip install Flask. Pip install Flask. Okay, and pip install Flask worked. And let me rename this endpoint to /generate. Okay, and in order to create an API out of this, I cannot use all of this as is, but I'm going to copy this as is and I will paste it here, and from config import star import OpenAI. Okay, backspace, new Flask app /generate. So generate is on endpoint and we are using the OpenAI key. Instead of using input, I will have to get the name of our text file from post request parameters. Now what does this mean? This means that I will have to import request, and I will then simply say text file is equal to request dot, let me say text file is equal to request dot form dot get text file, and the same goes for text as well and action as well. Same goes for action as well. So these are the three things that we will have to supply through our post request. Okay, match action. Okay, prompt is equal to this. Language, we will have to create one for language as well. Lang is equal to request.form.get lang action text and text file. Okay, is there anything else that we are taking input from the user? I guess no. Okay, so in this case we can supply these 4 parameters and we can then output the response as an API response. So we can say Flask return JSONIFY response, and from Flask we will import JSONIFY. Okay, I will now open Postman and I will try to run this as an API and send it all these parameters. So let's run it first. Let's run our Flask server. It just ran, but not sure why the server is not running. Okay, so app.run debug is equal to true is something that we will have to write in order to start the Flask server. The development server is up on 127.0.0:5000. So let's come back to Postman and change the port to 5000, and let's also change the endpoint to generate, and let's get back to this file. This is a text file. I think we don't need the text file because we are not a fan of saving all these parameters when we are using an API. So let's get rid of this text file. This text file was important only when you are running it as a desktop program. Since we are not running it as a desktop program, we will make sure that our API is getting text, action and language only. So this is the post request. The key is going to be text file or text. So let's add text and then action. And then we want to add language as well. Language. So language is lang. Let me change the language to Hindi and let me say action is 3. So action is 3 for translation and 2 for making email professional and 1 for grammar correction. What is your name? Let's send this request. And it says 403 forbidden because we need to add methods is equal to get and post. So we need request method post here. Let's send the request once again. It says forbidden. I think the server is not running. Let's see if the server is restarted. Yes, the server is restarted. Request.form.get text action and lang/generate. So I just sent a post request to the server and it says that 403 forbidden. Let's check the server once again. Let's stop it and let's try to rerun it and let's see if it works. So this is not method, so we will have to change it to method is equal to get and post, and this is going to work now. So I am not sure why it is not working. I'm damn sure I'm making a mistake, but what is that mistake? Let's say method. Let's see post request, flask.request.method. Okay, content type, methods parameter defaults to get, head is always added automatically and options is added automatically by default. Endpoint is equal to index. I think it's methods, it's not method. So I was right when I wrote methods. But why is it not working? So app.root. Okay, so I just changed it to 127.0.0.1 and it worked. So this is the output that it is giving me. Finish, reason, stop. Text is aapka naam kya hai, which is the correct Hindi translation. Let me tell you. And amazing. This is amazing. I am really impressed. And this is telling me the model that it has used to get this job done. So this is our API, which is very quickly ready. Now let's go to Linode and host this API there. So I'm going to log into my Linode account and I will create a nanode and host this API on a Linode. So let's log in. Let's create a Linode high performance server and Ubuntu 22.10. I want to make sure I'm on an LTS release so that everything is stable. Let's select Mumbai, Nanode, and then let's choose a password. Let's hit create Linode and it says that password does not meet complexity requirements. Whenever I'm creating a Linode, which is just for the demo, I usually choose a very weak password so that it is easy for me to log in, because anyway I'm going to delete this machine after this, and after demonstrating all these things we are going to delete this machine very soon. So let's wait for it to provision, and in the meantime I want to be ready with all these commands to log into my nanode. So I'll zoom in and I will paste it here, SSH root at this, and I will log into this machine and I will run the Flask app on this machine. And running the Flask app on this machine is going to be very easy because I will copy paste all the code. So let's wait, and you can alternatively also use Filezilla, and using Filezilla you can transfer the files. So let's go Filezilla root and let's log into the server. So file, okay, so we don't need to go to the file. We can simply type the address of the server. Username is root. I will type the password as well. Port is 22. So for SFTP, the port is 22. Let's see if the Linode is provisioned. Linode is provisioning and it is running. So it is very fast, super fast. It says connection refused. I think it's still booting up. So you can go to launch Lish console to see what is happening. So it is launching the Lish console and yes, it is working. So let's log in and let's see if it works. Yes, it works. Awesome. Let me try from the terminal. Yes. And yes, quick connect. It should connect. Okay. And yes, it got connected. Now I will go to the root folder, and inside the root folder, I will drag this Flask app. So where is my Flask app? It is inside the Harry folder. I'm searching for it. PyCharm projects. So we have a folder called PyCharm project and then grammar fixer. So let's drag this grammar fixer here. Let's go back and let's drag this grammar fixer right here, and this will upload all these files to Filezilla. All these files are uploading, and it is taking some time to upload these files. I think I should not be uploading the .idea file, PyCache. Oops, my bad. I dragged the virtual environment as well, which is something that you should never do. Okay, so let me wait for it to finish. There are 2000 files pending to be transferred. Let's cancel all these transfers. I want to reset, remove all. Okay, I want to stop and remove all. Okay, because I made a mistake. I should not be uploading this venv file and PyCache file. Even output is not necessary, but let's drag it. And yes, I want to overwrite. Always use this action, apply to current queue only. Okay, and all the files are uploaded. Awesome. So if I go to my terminal and I do ls, I can go to grammar fixer. Let me do rm-rfvn, which I accidentally dragged. Let's do ls. This is my Flask app. I can do python -m pip install Flask and OpenAI. It says Python is not found. Let's try Python 3. No module name pip. pip3 install Flask OpenAI. Sudo apt update. Okay. Do we have Python installed on this machine? Let's see. So I'll type Python to test if Python is installed on this machine or not. And then I'll test pip as well. So Python 3. Yes, we have Python 3.10. Pip 3. No, we don't. Apt install Python 3 pip, which will install pip on this machine. And we should be able to run our pip3 install OpenAI and Flask. Alternatively, you might also want to create a virtual environment, which I strongly recommend. And another thing that I recommend is a WSGI server if you are very serious about this project and if you want to scale this project to thousands or millions of users. And if you want to scale it to thousands or millions of the user, you might not use Linode. You can use some other strong RAM machine, some machine with good configuration. pip3 install Flask OpenAI. Let's run this. And yes, it just finished. Now I can do Python Flask AI.py and Python 3. Let's test Python 3. And yes, it is running on localhost, but I don't want to run it on localhost. Rather, I want to run it on 0.0.0.0. So I'll say vim Flask, and I will pass in a host. Host is equal to 0.0.0.0, which means that I can access using the IP, and I can say port is equal to 80 or port is equal to 5000, not 80. Let's do 5000, and let's remove debug is equal to true, because in production I don't want to set debug is equal to true. And let's try to run this Flask app, and it is running on this URL, as you can see. Let's now try to go to this URL, and it says not found, which means the Flask server is running. Let's come back to Postman, and instead of localhost, let's try to run it through this URL. And the moment I press send, it is actually giving me the output, which means that we have hosted this app. I can close my computer, I can close my PyCharm, I can close everything, and this will just work fine, which means that it is actually hosted on this URL. Let's try to change the prompt, and let's try to say, hello, I want to play cricket with you. Let's try to send this, and let's see if it is actually responding with the correct translation. मैं तुमसे क्रिकेट खेलना चाहता हूँ. It's correct, but it's slightly not correct. It's not exact, but it's pretty impressive. This will just work. If you say this to anybody, they are not going to say that it's wrong, but it is slightly inaccurate, I should say. But that is amazing. This is generated by AI. We should not forget about that. And it is still very impressive. So this is how you transfer files to your server, and this is how you host this as a Flask app on a Linode. But there is one more problem that I want to address. And the problem is that the moment I stop this or close this window, this is not going to work. So in order to throw this in the background, I will say no hub Python 3 flask.py ampersand. This will throw this in the background and it will still work. So even if I close this now, terminate, it is going to work. So I can come back to Postman, send the request and expect it to work, and it is working. Let's try to change the prompt. Hi, how are you? Let's try to change the prompt and see what it gives me. Namaste, aap kaise hain? Which is 100% correct. Okay, awesome, amazing. This works. We can even close Filezilla. I just want to show you that it works even if I close Filezilla. And it works, and the API response is pretty impressive. 1.8 seconds is pretty good for an AI to generate everything from the given prompt and send it back to me. So I hope that you like this project, and I hope that you were able to understand how we did all these things using AI. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.